Hi and welcome to this video. So today I'm going to be showing you how I do a maintenance detail on my Mazda MX-5 RF. So as you can see, it's not super dirty, it's not been cleaned for around a week and a half, so it's got a little bit of mud, tyres are quite dirty, and also you can see a little bit of mud on the paintwork, definitely needs sorting. So I'm going to be showing you how I actually wash this safely so that I don't cause any scratches or swirl marks or any kind of damage to the paint. So the different supplies that you actually will need to do this are preferably a pressure washer. Is definitely the best way of kind of rinsing down the paintwork safely, removing a lot of that dirt without having to touch it. Then you want some microfiber wash mitts, some microfiber towels to dry the car. Also, I've used 2 buckets, one for the wheels and one for the paintwork. And then I've got snow foam and snow foam cannon, and also a high quality shampoo and a couple of brushes as well. So as you can see, the first thing you should actually do is just rinse the car down. So this is before you do anything else like snow foam. I think the best way to actually start is just by rinsing off a lot of this loose dirt as much as possible. So what I tend to use is my Karcher K4 pressure washer and then a fan setting, as this kind of spreads the pressure, so you're not kind of concentrating the pressure too much, which is kind of where you can cause some damage with the paintwork. If you're using a fan setting like this, then you're not going to damage the paintwork. It's no risk whatsoever. As long as you're holding it fairly around a metre away and there's not kind of any cracking or sort of peeling in the paintwork already, then you're not going to really cause any damage. So here you can just see I'm thoroughly rinsing off as much of the dirt as I can. Just trying to remove this. So one of the best ways to sort of prevent scratches is to get rid of a lot of the dirt beforehand, and the best way to do this really is by rinsing down. So I'm also just going to rinse down the tyres to remove all that sort of surface dirt and on the alloys. And then the best thing to do as well is kind of clean the wheel arches, is to just really get in with your pressure washer, and you can kind of blast off a lot of this dirt that you might have picked up when you're driving, so it can help to kind of remove a lot of this without really having to touch the car and kind of get dirty. So the first thing that I'm going to do now is actually clean the wheels. So I'm just using a pretty cheap car shampoo to do this. Nothing really special, I'm not really too worried about on the wheels. So I'm using that and a fresh bucket and a microfiber wash mitt. So I always use separate microfiber wash mitts for the paint and the wheels. So I've got these yellow ones that I use on the wheels, so that's what I'm going to first start off with. So really you're just kind of going to just wash down the wheels with your wash mitt, using plenty of sort of soap to kind of lubricate that. You don't want to cause any scratches on the alloys as they are painted, so there is sort of that potential to do that. You don't have to be quite as careful as you are on the paintwork, but if you've got nice new alloys then you obviously want to keep them scratch free. So make sure you're kind of rinsing your microfiber wash mitt, you're keeping it clean, and really try and work it into all the different areas. These alloys are quite easy to clean, but sometimes you can get ones that have sort of like really sharp corners that can be quite difficult to reach. So in those cases you might want to use a small brush instead. So also to kind of get the lug nuts, I do use a small detailing brush to do this. So I also use it to kind of get into the corners of the alloys just to check I've not missed anything, but I think that it's really important to use a really soft brush to do this, as obviously the alloys are painted, there is potential to cause scratches, so if you're using sort of plenty of lubrication with your car shampoo and using quite soft bristle brushes, then you're not really going to run into any issues here. Then one of the things that people sort of forget about is the actual wheel barrel. So if you want your alloys to look really clean, then you can actually use a wheel barrel brush to do this. So just kind of get into all the behind the actual spokes of the wheel, just clean it there. It will help over time, because stop the alloys actually corroding, just generally keep them in a much more maintained state. Then after that, I'm just going to go ahead and rinse the tyres down. Rinse the alloys down, and basically I sometimes sort of give the tyres a bit of a scrub, but generally when I'm doing a maintenance detail and wash I won't do that. I'll only do that when sort of every now and again, as kind of the pressure washer does remove a lot of this dirt. So next I'm just going to go ahead and snow foam the car. So the snow foam that I'm doing this with is called Built Hamber Auto Foam. So as you can see, it's not sort of the thickest snow foam in the world, so if you really want that kind of thick layer of foam, it's probably not the best one to use for you, but what I do really find about this snow foam, it has a really high cleaning power. So I use it at 2%, and it's going to strip the vast majority of traffic foam and dirt from the car, so that when you come to rinsing it off, basically none of this surface dirt is going to be left. So when you actually come to contact washing, you're really reducing the risk of scratches because there just really isn't that dirt left. So I think obviously, you can get thicker snow foams, but really what I'm interested in is the actual cleaning power. So that's why I tend to go with Built Hamber's Auto Foam to do this. Then after that, I'm just going to go ahead and fill my second wash bucket. So this is a wash bucket that I only use for the paintwork. I'm just using Built Hamber's car shampoo to do this. It's just called Built Hamber Auto. So then I'm just going to go ahead and actually fill my wash bucket. So this is a separate bucket that I would use on the wheels. It's one that I only ever use on the paintwork. I don't want to cause any cross-contamination. So always give it a thorough rinse before you actually sort of fill up your wash bucket. I'm also using Built Hamber Auto Wash to do this. Again, it's not the thickest kind of foamiest shampoo, but it does have really good cleaning power, so I really like it for that. So I always start washing from top to bottom to find that the kind of dirt is going to go off the car more easily, and you're going to wash the cleaner sections first, so you're not sort of transferring any of that dirt back up to the cleaner sections. It again kind of reduces those risks of scratches. So I don't actually use the 2-bucket wash method like I know a lot of people do. Instead what I do is I use multiple wash mitts throughout the process, and basically every kind of time I've wiped a panel, I'll go ahead and pressure wash that wash mitt, and then if it looks too dirty then I'll just swap it out for a new one. I find that this is a little bit safer than sort of using the 2-bucket wash method, as I find that it kind of more thoroughly rinses that wash mitt. So then you just go ahead, once you've washed the car, and go ahead and power wash all that excess foam off. And then what I find makes it a lot easier when I'm actually drying the car is to just go over a really light pressure sort of hose, and then basically it sort of takes all the water with it, and you don't really get the beads on there, so it can be a lot easier to dry it, and you don't have to kind of wipe all the panels instead, again sort of reducing the amount of contact that you're making. So I also use just a leaf blower basically. If I had a specific car dryer, I would do that, but I find that leaf blower actually works really well instead. So I use leaf blower basically just to get into all the difficult to reach areas, so like the wing mirrors, the door shuts, any kind of really difficult to reach areas basically, so that when you're actually driving you can get these annoying drips where the water's just settled, and you're going to get water spots by doing that. So I find that just by using that leaf blower before I've actually dried the car is a really good way to avoid these water spots. I also use them on the tyres and the alloys as well, just to dry those before I actually apply a dressing. Then I go ahead and actually dry the paint using a damp microfiber towel, and I just use the blotting technique. I don't actually wipe over the panels, as I find that obviously that does increase the risk of scratches if there's any dust on there that might have settled. So instead just kind of blotting, you're reducing the kind of friction that you're putting on the paintwork. So again, just reducing that risk of scratching. So the tyre dressing that I'm using is called G-Technic T2, and it's basically really cheap water-based tyre dressing. So it basically it lasts around a week, and it leaves sort of quite a satin finish. It's not too glossy, which I don't really like, because I don't want to kind of detract from the paintwork really. I don't want anything sort of that looks too sort of flashy. I don't really like that kind of look on the tyres, so instead I just use a fairly matte kind of satin effect. So then I'll just go ahead and do the wheel arches. So I just give them a quick wipe with a microfiber towel, and I find that after you've pressure washed them, unless they are particularly dirty, that this is really enough to kind of get rid of any dirt that's left on there. Then after that, I'll just go ahead and apply a trim dressing just to the areas of the car that need it. So in this case, sort of just below the doors is fine, it's a good area for it. So again, I'm using the G-Technic T2 tyre dressing. I find it works great on trim as well. And then after that, I'll just go ahead and address the glass. So for this, I'm using Autoglans Vision. So this is basically a water repellent glass coating. It's got also a glass cleaner, but basically it's going to leave a hydrophobic coating and clean the glass at the same time. So I find it's a really good product to use. If you do enjoy videos like this, then definitely be sure to hit the subscribe button, as I am making quite a lot of vehicle transformation videos. So obviously this is a maintenance detail, but I'll definitely be tackling some more dirty vehicles, both the interior and exterior, so you can see some good transformations if you are interested in that kind of content. So thanks very much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed. If you have, then be sure to hit the like button, comment down below if you've got any questions, and subscribe for weekly detailing videos. Thanks again, and see you next time.